I've heard a lot of nightmare stories out there from other truckers.
And one of the nightmare stories that I've heard, as I'm sure you've probably heard as well, is just those companies that they can't wrap their heads around. You're sitting at a shipper for 10 hours. They're bumping the trailer every 3 hours because they're taking forever to load the thing for whatever their reason is. You know, there's a whole plethora of different reasons or excuses or whatever. But however long it takes them, you don't know how long you're going to be sitting there. And if you're like me and have a sleeping disorder, you can't just sleep, especially while somebody's kicking the truck out of nowhere. So if you're sitting there, you're just staying awake until they finally finish getting you loaded. Then you can find somewhere to park, so then you can finally actually take your 10 hours and get some sleep. But the whole time you're sitting there, you're not resting. Legally, you're resting, but technically, you're not actually resting.
So the next thing you know, you're loaded, you're getting a call from dispatch, they're saying, hey, we need you to get on the road, and you are just groggy, dead tired. You know that you're going to cause a crash. You don't want to throw away your CDL. You don't want to go to prison. You don't want everything that you've worked for and everything to just be for naught. And the company doesn't give a damn about you. That's a fact. Truckers are a dime a dozen. If you die, you lose your CDL, whatever, they will replace you. They will replace the truck, and they'll do it like that.
So they have no problem pressuring you. Come on, we got to get that load done. We got to get it there. Come on, door closed and mouth shut and hammer down. You know, those people, I always try to avoid those guys for the record.
You know as well as I do, you're now in that situation where they can legally pressure you into driving. You don't want to drive. You know you shouldn't drive. You know you can't drive because you can't keep your eyes open. You need to stop that truck. So how can you avoid getting into that situation in the first place? Here's what I found.
You're probably in this situation having gotten yourself into it the same way I've gotten myself into the situation. I get to the shipper and I immediately go off duty because I'm not driving. And I assume just going off duty is what you should do. Stop doing that. Here's what you need to do. Anytime you are capable of being on the clock, if that truck is being loaded or unloaded, you make sure you are on duty. Now remember, the law says that you can be on duty up to, 70 hours in an 8-day period without needing to actually go off duty. 70 consecutive hours, as long as you're not driving. As long as you do not drive that truck. You can be on duty, sitting in the truck, waiting for them to load your trailer for a week. A week! As long as you don't drive. So a lot of times I will get there and I'll go off duty hoping that I can get that 30-minute break. Well, now, because there's this new changeover thing that's happened, you don't have to go off duty. You can stay on duty the whole time. And that will count as your 30-minute break since coming on duty. However, you just can't drive if you've come on duty within that 14 hours, and then you'll have to take your 10-hour break before you can start driving again, legally. So here's what you do.
Stay on duty. When you get there, when you're getting loaded, you're getting unloaded, when you're fueling, stay on duty. This will keep your company from being able to legally say, oh, we need you to keep driving. Oh, but I can't drive. Federal law says I need to take my 10-hour break now because I've been on duty continuously for the last 14 hours. I have to stop. Keep yourself on duty. That way, when it's time for you to actually go to sleep, use your personal conveyance, your yard move, whatever you have to in order to find a safe spot so that you can park and talk to your safety team or whatever, whoever you need to, so that you can leave the shipper after that time is up. So if the shipper or receiver that you're at doesn't have a bullpen or somewhere for you to park safely, find a safe place to park, then go off duty, get your sleep. That way you're up the next day and you've got the load and you're ready to go. Company may be pissed off at you, but there's nothing you can do about it. You followed the law.
I mean, what are they going to do? Turn around and fire you for obeying the law? That's going to be a massive red flag for FMCSA, and you drop a dime on their ass, let them know, hey, these guys may be up to something.
Because no company is worth your CDL. No company is worth your life. No company out there should feel that they have some power over you, that they're better than you, that they don't need you, because they do. They need you. They need other truckers. They're not going to be the ones hopping into the chair themselves. They have it easy. They're getting paid more money than you to tell you to go out there and risk your life. So there's no reason for you to stay working at those people. There's no reason for you to care about those people because they don't care about you. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to be pressured by them. As long as you don't let yourself get put into that situation, you won't be in that situation. Stay on duty the whole time, then you have the law behind you. If you go off duty and you've been off duty for 10 hours the whole time you're sitting there awake, and you've been awake since yesterday, so now you've actually been awake for 20 hours, it's time for you to actually get some sleep. But because these guys held you up and now you're off duty, the clock says you can keep driving. I found myself in that situation a bunch of times, and this is what I found to correct that situation. This way you at least have the law to help back you up. You can say, sorry, bro, not my doing. I've been on duty this whole time. They're going to press you. How come you didn't go off duty? The law. Tell them the law. They'll try to argue with you. Yeah, the law says this and that. I've had companies try to say they were blatantly wrong, and they were trying to say, oh, we're not breaking any laws. I'm obviously no longer with those companies because I wasn't going to stay there, risk my CDL, risk somebody else's life, your life, etc. And what I'm trying to do here isn't worth somebody's lies. It isn't worth somebody's life to just go out there and just throw it all away. So just remember that. If you find yourself in that situation, that's all you have to do. Keep yourself on duty until you are fully loaded or fully empty, whichever the case may be. Then take your 10 hours when it's time for you to go to sleep.
There are some people out there that just have this magical ability where they can fall asleep anywhere, anytime. Narcoleptic type. It's not officially diagnosed, but it's very narcoleptic-esque. So they can fall asleep anywhere, anytime that they choose. I'm not that way. A lot of people are not that way. So we need that 10-hour break. And the only way for you to legally have that in your corner is to not go off duty until it is time for you to sleep.